two parts of a greater whole. In our joining, there's power. Power to make life, power to make light, and power to cast shadows.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another Game of Thrones Season 8 theory/discussion video. Last night something popped up on the live stream again, something I actually mentioned a couple years ago, but it came back up and I added a little bit more detail to it. So this whole idea is not original to me. I know there's been posts in the past, especially on Reddit and other forums about this, maybe some YouTube videos out there. So I want to say right up front, this is not my theory directly, although a couple little minor details may be original to me. I'm not really sure. It's kind of really hard to keep up with all that who said it first type of thing. But anyway, I just want to discuss it and bring my thoughts into it. And what we're talking about here are shadow babies. So Melisandre tried to seduce Jon already one time at the wall back in season 5 and in the books as well. But why? Why do we have shadow babies in our story? Okay, so we saw back in season 5, and this has happened in the books as well, Melisandre tried to seduce Jon because she senses some kind of power in him. Now, I do think as far as the books go, she does sense his warging ability. There is more magic at the wall. She says herself in the books that she is more powerful there, and she no longer needs her tricks and magical potions and that type of thing to kind of convince men of her power because she is near the magic of the wall. But she does sense something in Jon, but I think that has something to do more with his warging ability because he does resist that in the books, and of course in the show, he's not a warg at all. Now in the books, just for some backstory here, Melisandre has made 2 shadow babies. One of course to kill Renly Baratheon, just like the show, and another she made in the books to kill Courtney Penrose, and both of these attempts damn near killed Stannis. Davos specifically states that Stannis looks a lot different after he does this, and we did get a little hint of this in the show as well, when Stannis says to Melisandre on the beach, "Give me another son," and she says, "I can't, my king, it will kill you." So it definitely takes the quote-unquote lifeblood from Stannis. So it takes somebody powerful to do this, and of course what she refers to it as king's blood, and I don't even know if she realizes this, but we're talking about actually Valyrian blood. So she says there's power in king's blood, and we as an audience know now that that really means there's power in Valyrian blood, and I don't even know if Melisandre knows that. Now, of course, we know this works with Stannis specifically because Stannis and the Baratheons do have Targaryen blood. Stannis, Robert, and Renly's grandfather, Ormond Baratheon, did marry Rhaelle Targaryen, and therefore they have Targaryen blood. And of course, this did also help Robert as well with a claim to the Iron Throne during the rebellion where he overthrew the Mad King Aerys. So what was the point of having shadow babies in the first place? Now, of course, in the show, Renly gets killed by the shadow baby just like the books, but of course Stannis could have just sent some kind of ninja-like character over to Renly's camp at night to infiltrate the camp, sneak in, and kill Renly the old-fashioned way, but they made it a point to show that his blood had power and that Melisandre could use that blood to create this shadow demon to kill somebody and do his bidding. So I think there's a bigger point to that, and again, it happened twice in the book so far. Now, as far as Melisandre trying to seduce Jon Snow, it could have been just to test Jon Snow's vows. Of course, Stannis did offer him to become Jon Stark, the Lord of Winterfell and Warden of the North, so it could have been a test to see if he would break his vows and leave the Night's Watch, or it could have been a plan by Stannis to have another shadow baby with Jon since Stannis couldn't have a third, as a possible way to take out Ramsay Bolton. Because of course Stannis needed Jon as Warden of the North, a Stark back in Winterfell, so all the North would then support Stannis' claim. But they definitely showed us this shadow baby to show us the power of magic, and I've been saying for many years now, especially in our endgame theory of Dragon Raised by Wolves, parts 1 through 5, that Jon's magical blood or magical DNA would be required in our endgame. Otherwise, there's just no point to RLJ. There's no point to Jon being a Targaryen and a Stark, the first really pure ice and fire baby, if he's not going to use that magical DNA to help end this war and bring back the Dawn. He is the first real ice and fire baby with Stark blood, which really means first man blood, and of course Targaryen blood, which really means Valyrian blood, or King's blood as Melisandre calls it. So I think this has to come into the endgame, otherwise there's no real point in RLJ, and it would just be a story about a bastard who can do great things. But if it is just a story about a bastard that could do great things, then he should just be a bastard that could do great things. Otherwise, him being a secret Targaryen and the heir to the Iron Throne would actually take away from that message about bastards can do great things just like anybody else. So the idea is, I think we're going to see magic and maybe even a shadow baby involved in the end game of our story. And also for you book-only readers, this could also fit into the idea of the third betrayal for Dany, because Dany does visit the House of the Undying. She gets all these prophecies. It's a lot different in the books than it is the show, but she is told there will be 3 betrayals, one for gold, one for love, and one for blood. And this could fit in as well to Dany's 3rd and final betrayal, the one for blood. So what if this seduction was actually the right answer sitting under our noses the whole entire time? Whether Melisandre knows it or not, she could actually be right and need to create a shadow baby with powerful DNA in Jon's blood to perhaps kill the Night King. As I was mentioning before about the whole ice and fire thing, you think his blood would be a lot more powerful than Stannis's. If Stannis can create a couple shadow babies to kill a couple people in the books, and one in the show of course being Renly, then I think Jon's blood and his magical DNA, being a Targaryen and a Stark, will be a lot more powerful. And since I don't believe the Night King can be hurt by dragonglass or Valyrian steel for that matter, because he has a piece of dragonglass in his chest in the first place, I think it may be possible that perhaps it takes magic to fight magic. That magical, mystical, shadowy figure, maybe it can kill the Night King. So I think, as I've been saying, and even Bronn says it himself,
men win wars, not magic tricks,
that it will take magic to destroy this magic in some way, shape, or form. And of course, this would also fit the idea of Melisandre being sacrificed as well, because I do believe if this happens, that Melisandre would actually die giving birth to this thing, because it's going to be a lot more powerful than the 2 Stannis already created. And not only that, it would actually fulfill the idea and the reasoning behind RLJ and why Jon is a Stark and a Targaryen in the first place. That way his magical DNA and blood is actually used to save the world in some way. And as far as the betrayal goes for the books, this would also fit as well. The Dany and Jon love story is in full effect. I think it goes down like that in the books as well. And this would be, in a sense, a betrayal. Jon would not want to do it, but if he had to save the world, he has to have sex with Melisandre to create this thing. And of course, that would break Dany's heart regardless if she knows about it or not. And that could fit with her 3rd betrayal for blood, literally, because it's all about his blood creating this shadow baby to kill the Night King and save the damn world. And most importantly, this would fit the idea of Jon being the metaphorical Lightbringer, like I've mentioned many times before. And I actually did a separate video on Rhaegar actually being Azor Ahai and creating the metaphorical Lightbringer Jon Snow. Melisandre even specifically says,
Power to make life, power to make light.
So this would actually fit the Azor Ahai / Nissa prophecy as well, because Jon would have to stab Melisandre to sacrifice her to create this so-called instrument of light to help bring back the dawn. Anyway guys, I'll pass it off to you. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Could Melisandre have to create a shadow baby with Jon using his magical DNA? And if physical weapons like dragonglass and Valyrian steel can't hurt the Night King, perhaps a magical shadow can. And as usual, thank you for all the support, especially to you guys on Patreon. And a huge shout out to my executive Patreon SmokeScreen producers: Lala Gig, Marylin Bentley, Colliday, Goska, HoonJive, Horton, Erin Habig, John Carey, Anastasia, Jason Landers, DTizSmith, MJW, Carole Brown, D Brown, Mike Colton, Lisa Phillips, Alfred Borstmayer, Greene, and Ricky Corotte. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate the support, and to everyone on YouTube as well. And if you dig what I do here, please give these videos a like, comment, and a share. And be sure to subscribe to get everything, and click that notification bell so you're notified when I drop a new video. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.